What's good, YouTube? What's good, YouTube? What's good, people? What's going on? How is everybody doing? How everybody doing out there? I guess you guys are having a wonderful trading week. It's a holiday today in the United States. It's a 4th of July. Happy Independence Day in America. Yeah, 4th of July is Independence Day. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, you guys know it. We're back again with another video. So today's video won't be different from any type of video because I'll be sharing what I always share. But I feel like today it's a different pair. It's a pair that not every trader trades. Yeah, many traders trade USDs are out there. Oh, by the way, before I start, make sure you like, subscribe, share, turn on the notifications so you can get notified every time I upload a new video and something fire concerning Forex and entrepreneurship. So never mind my voice, guys. So today we're working on USDZAR. Well, USDZAR is a pair, an exotic pair, right? Many traders don't trade it, but many traders trade it. It's just 50-50. But when I say many traders, I mean like Forex traders on Instagram and YouTube. They don't trade it that much, but they do trade it. But so how I trade, you guys know it, like how I trade or how I approach the markets. It's not different from any other trade out there. It's just like basic Forex, right? Textbook Forex, what you always learn and what you always do, right? But now I'm using a different pay. That's what I'm trying to emphasize. And I'm trying to show you guys that following structure or market behavior and spotting out depletion and weaknesses in market direction. And at the same time, I would say looking at different pairs like the dollar strength and rand weakness, or the rand weakness and the dollar strength when using currency pairs. So guys, before I start or before you continue, financial disclaimer: everything I say or do is entirely based on my own experience and my own opinion. It can happen, it cannot happen. All you can manage to do is to just follow price and just stick to price action and let price be, and you just be when you're doing what you're supposed to do all the time. So guys, this is the hourly time frame. This is the hourly time frame. This is the hourly time frame. I'm not gonna share so much, or I won't take time, but I need you guys to understand when you spot out how to spot out a continuation and how to spot out a potential reversal, right? So now looking at USDZAR. USDZAR, when you look at history or current price from back then, price was in a clean uptrend, right? So looking at the uptrend that we had, price started moving sideways, creating some sort of resistance. You can clearly see right there. Price has been tapping and pushing to the downside, tapping and pushing to the downside until price had this breakout, until price had this momentum right there that led price into moving to the downside, breaking the correction that we had. So from price moving now to the downside, or from price breaking this correction or reacting from the resistance and trading below our support, now, price clearly confirmed to us that we might be looking for potential what? For potential continuation, for potential reversal to the downside, right? One, price broke. Price has been failing to break resistance. Two, price broke below support, right? Meaning from the correction we had, price broke below support, right? And now, when you follow this for the third time, when you look at the third confluence that I can share, price moved sideways, right? They're on our intraday zone, right? You can clearly see that price started having this sideways movement right there. So with this sideways movement that price had, you can clearly see that we also had momentum that led price into continuing to the downside, right? You can clearly see that we had the bear momentum candle that clearly confirmed to us that from this push phase and this correction, price is having a momentum candlestick, anticipating that we're continuing to the what? To the downside. Boom, and price moved to the downside. With a correction of a pullback, with a pullback or an exhaustion phase, price did what? Continued moving to the downside, right? Price continued moving to the downside. So, guys, I need you guys to understand one thing, that price started failing. Price had resistance, right? And price started failing. Price started breaking above resistance. Price started failing to break above resistance, and price broke below our support. and price had a continuation push phase to the downside. So from price correcting, or from price moving sideways, price had a bear momentum candlestick which broke below our our lows, our correction that we had, anticipating a continuation to the downside, and price pulling back with an exhaustion phase. You can clearly see with a continuation that we had that broke below our low right there, that clearly confirmed to us that we're still having a continuation to the downside, right? So guys, this is like a basic of how you can spot out a reversal, right? So when we now continue with our trend, you can clearly see from this breakout, price of the correction, right, and a continuation to the downside that broke below our low, right, and price did what? Created a low with a lower high, right, and a low again, right, giving us some sort of a double top and a high not higher than the previous high, anticipating a continuation to the downside with bear momentum candlesticks, which did what? Continue to the downside, right, and a correction again with what? A bear momentum candlestick broken below our low, continuing to the downside again with a lower high again, creating a lower high and a continuation to the downside, breaking below our low right there, and a correction and a sideways movement that we also had with a bear momentum candlestick which broke off of our intraday support or our lows, continuing to the downside, and another bigger correction, right, and another bigger correction with bear candlesticks which anticipated a continuation to the downside, which clearly confirmed to us that from what we have or what we're looking at, price is clearly in a clean downtrend. No need to dispute that or to argue about that. So now, when you clearly see that price has been moving in a clean downtrend, creating lower lows and lower highs, or breaking below lows, right, and creating lower highs that don't continue above previous highs, confirming to us that price is clearly continuing to the downside. So when you now look at the tricky part, because we now know that we are sitting in a clean downtrend, price started moving sideways, right? You can clearly see the price started moving sideways, people. No need to laugh about that. No need to argue about that. Price started moving sideways. Price started moving sideways. Price started moving sideways. I'm emphasizing that so you guys can understand that obviously from this clean downtrend that we had, price started moving sideways, meaning from the bears that were taking, with the bears that were running the markets, the bears were started losing what? The bears started losing momentum, and the bulls started gaining momentum with a what now? When you now look at, okay, price was in a downtrend and price is moving sideways, this clearly confirms to us that from the dollar, from the rand weakness, from the rand strength that we have and the dollar weakness that we had, the dollar is now taking charge of the charts, meaning from the rands having strength, the dollar is now having strength. But what confirmations do we have, or what confirmations are we having that clearly confirm to us that price might be clearly giving us a confirmation that we're looking for, that the rand is now having weakness and the dollar is now having strength? When we now technically come back to our charts, never mind my English, guys. So when you now technically see what we had from a downtrend, prices that is now moving sideways, creating some sort of resistance right there and some sort of support, right? So when you now see that, okay, from the sideways movement that we have in prices failing to break below and price is failing to break above, now we have two anticipations as to what we have to do. We're either looking for what? For bear breakout. For bear breakout. This is what I always talk about on what? On our outlooks, or a bullish breakout to confirm our what? Our continuation. Either that we are going to continue to the downside with the correction that we had, or we're going to look to reverse, right? So when you now look at this correction that we had, right? When you now look at the correction that we got, or the correction that we had, removing this horizontal array, you can clearly see that, okay, from now, reacting from our support, from our resistance, and reacting from our resistance, we had bullish momentum, right, which clearly broke out of our what? Of our resistance. So when you clearly see that, okay, we were looking for what? For either a bear breakout or a bullish breakout to confirm our continuation. Price chose to do what? To break above of our what? Of our resistance. Meaning from the correction that we had, we now clearly seeing that, okay, from the bear move and the correction, we're now having some sort of what? New direction that we potentially are going to look at or going to have. But what confirms to us is that price clearly broke out of our what? Of our resistance, or closed above of our resistance. So from price pushing to the upside, creating this high. Now, remember that we were creating lows. Price is now creating highs, and an exhaustion phase that we had, meaning from price breaking out of our support, of our resistance, and price coming back off of our resistance with a potential double bottom, which clearly confirmed to us that, okay, now we are looking to be bullish on our trend, on our what? On our USD ZAR pair, because we now had a bear channel. We now had a bear structure in a correction, and we broke above. We're now having bullish patterns that confirm to us that price might be looking to do what? To continue to the upside. So from the double bottom that we had above our intraday resistance, when you guys remember that, don't forget that price clearly did what? Broke above this high that we had, the high that price created with bullish candlesticks continuing to the upside, right? And then we had this exhaustion, and then we had price breaking above this higher high, creating a new higher high, and we had a higher low, and we had now price creating a what? A new higher high, right? When you now see that price created this new higher high, price is now pulling back. So from this pull back, we don't know what might happen. I'm not sharing anything, but I'm just trying to let y'all see that from the trades that we could have took, you guys could have bought here, you could have bought there, you could have bought here, and you could have bought somewhere right here, right? When we now look at how our selling moves, our bear direction to the downside, on where we could have sold, right? You could have sold on this break of this correction, or from this break of this low, or from this pullback of this high, of this lower high formation, or you could have sold right there on this creation of this lower high, or from the break of the lower lows of the lows that we had, or from the lower high creation, or from the break of the lows, lower high creation, break of the lows, lower high creation, break of the lows, lower high creation, break of the lows, so on and so forth, right, people? So now, guys, this is how you spot, or this is how you can anticipate a potential continuation to the downside or to the upside, or how to spot a potential reversal of price was either in a downtrend looking to be now in an uptrend, or in an uptrend looking to be in a downtrend. So guys, I don't want to say much, and I don't want to say too much, but you guys need to remember how we do this and how this is done. You need to focus on your structure or your behavior, right? Lower lows or lower highs, higher highs and higher lows, depending on that, or your correction that clearly confirms, is price gonna break below, continuing to the downside, or break above, looking to reverse, and that will be it. You guys get it? Before I end this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and turn on the notifications so you can get notified every time I upload new videos and every time I upload new content concerning Forex and entrepreneurship. Without further ado, this is your boy Harlan. That's all I got on this video. I'm out.